And starts now.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Social media can play a vital role for candidates in election season. We've seen it before where a candidate says or does something controversial, then it trends all over the internet. Quentin Smith speaks with a political expert on the role social media plays during a campaign. Quentin, we've had recent examples of this in a local race.
That's right, Scott. An audio recording was published on social media where Monroe County Sheriff Cecil Cantrell could be heard threatening to fight some of his employees. This comes on the heels of a video that was released just last week where an inmate was seen putting signs together with his name on them. Political experts say these types of things can both help and hurt a candidate. From controversial remarks made by a state senator to a controversial video of an inmate putting signs together with the sheriff's name on them, when political controversy happens, social media is usually the go-to platform where it's aired.
This is the time for people to look through their archives, whatever might be on their cell phone or anything that might be left over from an old media appearance that might be recovered and could be used and in some cases taken totally out of context. To try to make some sort of political point or give somebody political advantage.
Dr. Brian Anderson is a political science professor at Mississippi University for Women. He says sometimes candidates will do these things as part of a political strategy.
Sometimes bad news is all the news you get, and you can turn bad news in the moment into a means of getting further attention, and it might actually draw attention to your message.
Anderson admits controversial things being released on social media can play a factor in the outcome of an election. He says at times it can work in the candidate's favor.
Could be something that, while embarrassing, say in a kind of mainstream sense, might actually appeal to some of their base.
And then there are times when it can work against them.
If there's something clearly depicted, especially like a physical act of violence or crime or something like that, that's going to be very, very difficult for the candidate to recover from.
The political professor says just because one candidate might overcome something negative being published about them on social media, it doesn't work that way for everyone.
There's no one model for how these things play out. It depends on the actual issue and also how skillfully the candidate handles the revelation of this information.
Anderson says it's not a surprise when these types of things happen. He says it's all a part of politics. Scott?
All right, Quentin, thank you very much. Well, the Mississippi's primary elections, they're just a few weeks away. Courtney Ann Jackson breaks down what it is that you need to know about the state's election laws ahead of primary day.
You have lots of choices for the statewide primaries. Your first choice is which party primary you'll vote in. But beware, as Mississippi College law professor Matt Steffi explains, you can't switch parties between the primary and the runoff.
Once you pick one stream to vote in, Democrat or Republican, then you've got to vote in that stream throughout the rest of the primary runoff process.
State law actually references that you shouldn't vote in a party primary unless you intend to vote for that party's nominee in the general election. But
I think it's unenforceable at the polls and causes more problems than it solves as a matter of law.
Steffi also notes it would put the decision-making squarely on the poll worker to determine intent, and there's no way to gauge that.
In its face, it raises really serious constitutional concerns because pledging in advance to an unknown candidate that kind of fealty is un-American and I believe arguably violates the First Amendment's right of a vote. A person can sincerely intend that on primary day and through the arguments and issues raised through the campaign change their mind.
Mississippi Votes is an organization working with young people who may have moved from a state where election laws are different.
Definitely here to help break down the language because we definitely feel like that is part of the barrier that keeps people from being frequent voters and keeps young people disengaged.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Time now to get a first look at our Monday evening forecast. We'll send things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson. Hey there, Keith.
Hey, Scott, we had some gusty showers and thunder showers around here this evening, but behind it here in Boonville at Northeast Mississippi Community College, a nice double rainbow. Always nice to see that. That batch of showers way far away from us now. But there's another batch of showers and storms here in northwestern Mississippi. Notice the trend, though, from southwest to northeast. They're on a track to stay just to our northwest. So we don't really anticipate any problems tonight. Maybe a little bit of rain in the far northwest. Tomorrow, your Tuesday, scattered storms. Some could be on the strong side again, upper 80s. The full forecast in just a few minutes.
Scary story out of Lee County tonight where two men are accused of trying to kidnap children. Layman Palmer and Daniel George are both charged with attempted kidnapping. Saturday, Lee County deputies were called to Pine Ridge Racetrack where witnesses say two men were allegedly trying to use stuffed animals to lure children between the ages of 8 and 11 into their van. When the children didn't listen to the men, one of them started to chase the kids. Lee County Sheriff's Office is asking if you recognize Palmer or George as someone that has attempted to kidnap a child to contact their office. Columbus police make 3 arrests in a reported armed robbery. Devin Tate, Kajarius Anderson, and Terrius Armistead were all arrested in connection with the alleged crime. The official charges they're facing have not yet been released. The alleged holdup happened on Burns Circle last week. Investigators were able to interview witnesses before eventually learning that more about the armed robbery. Police then released information that they were looking for Anderson. Shortly afterwards, a car was recovered that next day. Now, more information is expected to be released later on. A civil rights activist in Louisiana is found strangled to death in the trunk of her car. Sadie Roberts Joseph founded an African American History Museum in Baton Rouge. Now police there are trying to find her killer. CBS's Maria Villarreal has more.
The discovery of Sadie Roberts Joseph dead in the trunk of her own car has left her brother Joseph Armstrong in shock.
We never seen anything like this in our immediate family, and it is really, really hard.
The 75-year-old local civil rights activist was last seen Friday morning after baking cornbread with her sister, according to the family. Around 3:45 that afternoon, her car was found on a dead-end street several miles from her home.
They popped the trunk, and that she was in the trunk of the car.
Police have offered little information to explain what happened. An autopsy released today concluded she died of traumatic asphyxia, including suffocation.
How did it happen?
Or why?
Why did it happen? How did it happen? Was it a robbery or was it what?
Roberts Joseph was widely known for her charity work and activism and has been described as a treasure to the community. In 2001, she founded the local Baton Rouge Black History Museum. In 2011, Roberts Joseph spoke at an event she organized to commemorate the end of slavery.
Embrace diversity, learn of our history, and that's the only way we're going to be able to heal.
It took more than 20 years to open up this museum, and now Sadie's family tells me they're not sure how they will keep it open or who might even run it. We've also been talking to police. They tell us that one of their top priorities is finding Sadie's killer here in Baton Rouge. Mireya Villarreal, CBS News, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
A former Lamar County, Alabama sheriff has passed away. Richard Varnon was the sheriff for 16 years. Beginning back in the 1970s. He also served as Millport's police chief for more than 15 of those years. Varnon leaves behind a wife, 3 daughters, and numerous grandchildren. Funeral services will be tomorrow at Dowdle Funeral Home beginning at 2 o'clock. Varnon was 84 years old.
We still have the remnants of Barry swirling around the region. Oh, Barry, it's time to go. And he will be going away very, very soon after tomorrow. The remnants will be on the way out. Temperatures will be on the rise, and that means the heat index will be back into the triple digits. Your full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
It is so nice to see you on this Monday evening. Pretty quiet here in our viewing area right now. We still have some showers and storms we're watching here in northwestern Mississippi from Shelby to Clarksdale back up towards metro Memphis. They are moving from the southwest to the northeast, generally not coming our way. Can't rule out a stray shower or storm later tonight, but most spots will not see it. And the activity down here in southern Mississippi has really gone away too. So Most of the rain from this point forward, at least tonight, will be concentrated back into Arkansas and northwestern Mississippi, closer to the remnants of Barry. Around here, fairly quiet. Temperatures are in the 70s right now, mid to upper 70s, and we are looking at lows tonight. A few more degrees down into the lower 70s here. As I mentioned earlier, the best chance for a little bit of rain for the rest of tonight, probably out in the northwestern counties. Your Tuesday planner, we start out in the 70s, and by noon, 85, upper 80s to around 90 in the afternoon, with a chance for more of those scattered showers and storms around here. So another warm and humid day, still a little bit below the average because we'll have the influence of Barry. Now, we can't rule out a stray strong storm or two with some damaging wind gusts across the northern and western parts of our coverage area on Tuesday and Tuesday evening, and we still have that isolated brief tornado threat because there's still some wind zipping through the atmosphere associated with Barry, but that threat remains on the low end of the spectrum. This is our Tupelo sky cam, our Alpha Insurance camera there. Numerous showers and storms this evening, gusty showers, heavy downpours, and then we got those nice rainbows. So all things not too bad here this evening. We've all had pretty good soaking. Some spots not as much, a ½ inch to an inch. Other locations 2, 3, 4, 5 inches plus over the last few days around here. But Barry will be on the way out. We're going to have this big area of high pressure set up across the eastern part of the country, and that means the heat index could be over 105 degrees later this week. So summer's coming on back. Futurecast doing a great job with the showers and storms back to the northwest. And notice how they stay back to the northwest for a good chunk of tonight. But as we get into our day tomorrow, your Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, scattered storms roaming around here. And some of that could actually linger into Wednesday morning and perhaps even into Wednesday afternoon too. But in general, the decreasing rain chances will be with us here for your next few days here. Going down to about 20% Thursday and Friday. Temperatures going back up into the low 90s by Thursday all the way through the weekend, Scott. And that means the heat index in the triple digits, perhaps warmer than 105.
8 Days of Hope has volunteers ready to head to the coastal areas hit hardest by Hurricane Barry. So far, they've been filling up trailers with chainsaws, fans, and other tools to help clear up any debris. The ministry will also take a laundry trailer with washers and dryers, a shower trailer, and other supplies to help those whose homes have been flooded. John Tidwell is a maintenance manager for 8 Days of Hope and says the ministry is waiting for all waters to go down before heading out.
Right now we're partnered with a church, Our Savior's Church out of Lafayette, and so we're kind of letting them take the lead as far as what town we'll end up in. We've really talked about New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and then some of the smaller towns in between that and Lafayette. So a lot of it is, where the major need is.
8 Days of Hope is now able to coordinate disaster relief efforts from its newly opened national headquarters in Pontotoc County. The high school football tour heads into Alabama. We check in with the Yellow Jackets a little bit later in sports.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 with Scott Martin.
Summertime is full of activities for the kids, but you want to make sure to play it safe. We look at what you need to know before you drop the kids off at the pool in tonight's Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Andrea Morris, pediatrician at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Summer is a time for fun in the sun and enjoying the pool with family, but this can quickly turn into a trip to the emergency room if you're not diligent about protecting your child against some of the most common dangers that come with warmer weather. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, about 350 children under 5 drown in pools each year. Nationally, drowning is the leading cause of death for children under 5. By following some basic pool safety tips, your backyard pool can be a safe and pleasurable experience for children. They require constant monitoring without distraction. Secure your pool with a climb-resistant fence that is at least 4 feet tall and with a self-closing, self-latching gate without nearby furniture. Gate doors should open away from the pool. Door alarms are also helpful in addition to window guards and self-closing and latching doors to the house. New evidence supports that children between ages 1 and 4 may be less likely to drown if they have formal swimming instruction. Parents should assess for factors for swim readiness that include emotional, developmental, and physical ability. Finally, make sure everyone in your home knows how to respond to an aquatic emergency by knowing water rescue and first aid techniques and CPR. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist, when we will discuss what happens when your child gets too hot.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Football season is on the horizon, and a few Mississippi State Bulldogs are already being noticed.
More on that coming up next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
With less than 50 days remaining on the countdown until the first kickoff of the college football season, it seems that watch list season has officially begun. Both Ole Miss and Mississippi State being recognized for excellence through the nomination of 2 running backs. The Maxwell Award watch list names both Mississippi State's Kylan Hill and Ole Miss's Scotty Phillips as candidates for the National Player of the Year. In his outing as a sophomore, Hill rushed for 734 yards, averaging 6.3 yards per carry and scoring 4 touchdowns. Phillips ran for 928 yards for 12 touchdowns, averaging 6.1 yards per carry. And a couple more Bulldogs making a watch list Monday afternoon. Cornerback Cam Dantzler and linebacker Errol Thompson both named nominees for the Defensive Player of the Year. The Mississippi State pair are 2 of 80 nominated. The winners for both the Maxwell and Bednarik will be announced at the College Football Awards on December 12th. We continue the high school football tour with the start of Alabama Week. To kick things off, we visit with the Aliceville Yellow Jackets. The Jackets look to retool heading into the new season after graduating a big senior class. Aliceville is stop number 22 on the high school football tour.
WCBI's 60 Schools in 60 Days is brought to you by Sparklight.
We're a work in progress, I would put it like that. We have potential to be, I would say, a little bit better than we were last year. Just because of our guys have probably been in this system for about 3 years now. They kind of understand the expectations.
Everything all gas, no brakes, and we got to work, get bigger and stronger and faster.
Our season been going pretty good. Been lifting weights, putting in work, running, getting conditioned.
We've been trying to get the younger kids to come in and let them work so we can rebuild for what we had lost.
We really can't replace those guys because they actually came in and made a name for themselves. And it's going to be hard to replace, especially a quarterback that we had last year by the name of Kevon McGraw. I'm just really excited about our 2 young quarterbacks. One is in the 10th grade and one is in the 9th grade. And being excited about those guys and see those guys come to work and those guys being excited, I think it really amps up our whole team because of now all of a sudden you get a Zay Wilkins and you get the receiver core kind of looking in awe about, oh, this guy really can make this pass, and that kind of gets everybody back excited. As far as trying to get Xavier the ball, well, we really don't give him the ball a whole lot, but he produces the yards. Maybe some games we've probably given the ball at least 12 times out of a game, but at the same time, I think his reps is going to probably go up a little bit, especially in the beginning of the season.
We are going to put up a fight. Every play, every drive, everything is going to be a fight. Nothing's going to be easy.
Hopefully our defense knock out people.
For the defense, we're going to be right. We're going to be right. We ain't going to let nothing get across us. I'll tell you that right now, especially my side. My side is the best side.
60 Schools in 60 Days with Aliceville High School was brought to you by Shop and Save, Vernon Dental Clinic, Alpha Agent Alicia Clark, and H&R AgriPower.
It's a new week and some new tour stops. We continue on in Alabama week with a change up in the original schedule. Stop number 23 on Tuesday is now going to check in with the South Lamar Stallions. And then on Wednesday, stop number 24 will be the Sulligent Blue Devils. So only those two flip-flopping days. Followed on Thursday for stop number 25 will be Lamar County, and then on Friday to number 26, the weekend will kick off with the Pickens County Tornadoes. You can always go back and watch them on our website as well at WCBI.com. That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back. Stick with us.
All right, here's our 7-day forecast. We're looking at another chance for some scattered storms tomorrow and Wednesday, Scott. Still a little bit below the average, but by Thursday and beyond, here come the 90s, the heat, the humidity is still here, and that makes it feel like 100 degrees plus. So summer's coming on back.
So by Wednesday, is that when all the remnants of Barry is skedaddled on?
Most of it should be done tomorrow evening, but yeah, still some on Wednesday. After Wednesday, we're home free.
And just buckle down for the heat, I guess. We got this. We got this.
It's summer.
Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
For the young and the young at heart,